Hi, this is Ernie. I'm the guy who had $6 in his checking account to now having millions of dollars. Congratulations for those who have followed my trade in OKLO or OKLO, however you want to pronounce it. You have officially doubled your money in about 5 months. Yes, 5 months. I previously made a video back in January 8th introducing you to OKLO. Back then it was trading about $33 and it has gone up to 68, so doubled in value. And of course there was a little bit of a pullback today, but again, congratulations for those who have followed. Let's look at the chart, and then I'm going to show you what other investment idea that I have that I just started accumulating. But before we get there, let's go to the chart first. So this is OKLO. They make small modular reactor. They never had a client. They had things in the pipeline, but they never really generated revenue. And I introduced on January 7th. So right about here, when it actually broke the trend line and decided to go up. Of course, as soon as it had a pullback, I started selling more puts in order to accumulate more shares, and it just took off. Some of you were fortunate enough to sell it back then. But what eventually happened was everything just dropped back to even lower than my initial price. But for those who know what I do, whenever there's a pullback and whenever it's reaching closer to RSI, closer to oversold, I sell put options and then use that money to buy more shares. So that's what I ended up doing almost throughout entire March and April. And then I started doing that in May as well. And then, yes, it took off. And it went up to, if you look at this chart, $67.38. I ended up exiting because I was happy to get 100% or double my return or get a 100% return. So I exited. Is that the right thing to do? For me, yes. For a company that does not have a lot of revenue, and now they only have one single source of revenue, I'm not sure whether I am willing to take that risk. But I got 100% return. Yeah, whatever money that I put in, which was nothing. I put no money in there. Everything was based on selling puts, using that premium to buy shares, and I accumulated a lot of shares over the last 5 months or so, and I just sold it at about, I think it was like $66 or $65 or so. So I'm very happy that I left. We'll see what happens. Maybe I'll regret, maybe I won't. But all I know is I made money. So that's all that matters. So here is what I'm going to introduce you today. This is for those who, I missed out on CoreWeave. I looked at their numbers. They just spent so much money. Their clients were too concentrated, so I didn't really feel comfortable. So I ended up not participating in an IPO, and of course I have regrets. That's why I ended up trying to look for an alternative to CoreWeave. So let me show you CoreWeave, and I'll show you what stock I am talking about so that you can make a judgment, or you can make an assessment yourself based on your research that you're going to do, whether this investment makes sense for you. CoreWeave, for those who are familiar, this is the data center for AI. And if you go, they went public around $40. And I was very hesitant. And of course it took off to 60 and then it dropped, and I'm like, good thing I didn't get in. And then of course it continued to go down and it just took off, right? It's now trading $140 some. If I had gotten in, I would have gotten 3.5x return in less than 3 months, or maybe less than 2.5 months. I missed the boat, and I'm not gonna chase. As you can see, it's on overbought territory. So I have no intention of chasing this thing. And I'm hoping that hopefully down the road it will come down, but I don't know when will. So rather than a hope, which is, to me, it's not a strategy, I want to go after a company that's very similar to this, but slightly different in nature. And it is called Nebius Group. And if you look at the chart, it's very similar looking. And here's one reason why I'm interested, because I believe I'm gonna use my pen. You see this big semicircle? That, and with a recent drop, I think there's a possibility that this is gonna form a cup and handle formation. For those who are not familiar with cup and handle formation, it looks like a little coffee cup or a coffee cup. And when that is formed, it usually skyrockets. And one of the reasons why I'm interested in this, and this is in an overbought territory, so it's slightly risky, but here's the reason why I actually like this company better than CoreWeave. CoreWeave, two companies generate 77% of CoreWeave's revenue. So if something happens to one of them, oh, they're screwed. And amount of debt that they have is enormous. And let me show you how much debt they have. I'm reading from the profile, the documents. CoreWeave has $8 billion in debt. 70% of the revenue coming from two clients. And not only that, they had to use their future billing, to use that as a collateral to finance their operation. So if one client is willing to leave them and go somewhere else, they're screwed. On the other hand, Nebius has $1.45 billion in cash. Their cash burn is relatively slow. They are not targeting large enterprise. They want to get a large enterprise, but CoreWeave typically are better at large enterprise. But this also means that they have a lot of small clients that even if they were to lose 1 or 2 or even 10, it's not going to impact them as much. And also the growth. I mean, CoreWeave is generating close to $1 billion a year versus Nebius generating $100 million a year. So I think there's a lot more growth potential, but you be the judge of it. It's like you're playing with somebody who does extremely well with large clients, but that poses a risk. But at the same time, it could be an advantage because these large clients have the money to spend versus Nebius, smaller, a lot more room to grow, but they're dealing with smaller clients who might not have a lot of money to continue to spend money with them. But at the same time, because they're so small, I don't think they're going to go build their own data warehouse or any type of capability to do data training. So I think Nebius clients are stickier than CoreWeave. So what am I doing? I am same strategy. I'm selling puts. I know that it's a risky time at the moment because RSI is so high. And today it came down 6%, which I think it was the right time. So 6% down. I sold put options, generate income, and I used that money to buy shares. And that's what I ended up doing at 3 minutes before market close today. So this is my next bet that I think it has the potential to go up quite a lot. I don't know how much because I still have to figure that out. But you do your own research, you do your deep dive, and give me a point of view on whether I think or whether I'm smoking crack or this actually makes sense for you. And hopefully I'm right in maybe 6 to 12 months down the road that I could potentially generate another 100% return, just like I did with OKLO. Hopefully this was useful. Don't forget to like and repost. And if you have any questions, please comment. And if you have anything sensitive, please send me direct messages. And also, please don't forget to follow me for more investment tips and how to generate weekly income using options. All right, have a good weekend. Bye.